We now have a quiz in our course, but as you know, that quiz has no questions attached to it. So we need to add some questions to our question bank and then draw those in to this particular quiz. What I'm going to do is I'll click on the quiz, and that brings it up, and it's just a reminder. All we have set up is the date when it is, but there's no questions added in here yet. If I go to Edit Settings, what that will bring me to is the page that we were just on, where I put in the name, where I put in the timing, and all those kind of things. What we need to do is go to Edit Quiz. That's a part that's different than it is for adding a regular assignment. Now in here is where we set the maximum grade. It defaults to 10. It will just give you, depending on how many questions you have and how it puts it together, it will decide how much they get out of 10. So it'll do the math for you. You can make it worth 20, 100, you can make that worth whatever you want. But this is where we put in the grade. And then this shuffle, remember when we set it up, we set it to shuffle the answers within each question. This shuffle actually, if you look at it, what it's going to do is every time the quiz is attempted, the order of the questions will be changed. So if you want to do this one, this shuffle means that the first time somebody takes it, question 1, 2, and 3 are in that order. When somebody else takes it, or if the person's allowed to take it twice, the next time they take it, it's question 3, 1, and 2, and it shuffles them around randomly. So again, they can't just memorize what they should be. They have to actually think through the questions. To add questions, we look over here. Once we add questions, they'll show up so that we know we don't have any. I can either add a new question into this and just type them in one by one, or I can work from the question bank. Now there's a couple of ways to get questions in the question bank. Some textbooks give you banks of questions and we can just import those. And if you do have that, it's a little bit different for each one, so I'm not going to show that in the video. If you have that kind of a situation, fill out a help desk ticket and I will help you import those questions in here so that you can then just set up your test accordingly. But to add new questions, we can do it right from here, or let me just show you the question bank. That's down here at the bottom. When you click on that, it'll take you automatically there. You have different categories that they're in, and I'd recommend that you use these categories as you add things in. But let's say we want to create a new question, and I'm going to just create them in the question bank and then draw them over. This first one will make a multiple choice, and then click Add. You see there's a whole lot of options on what kind of questions you can make. The question name is there for you. You'll see that come up in your list. That's so that you remember a little bit of what this question is called. So you can call the question whatever you want. For this one, I'm just going to call it how many stars, because that's what our question will be about. Now here's the question text. So this is what the student will see. And I can decide within this quiz as a whole how many points this one is worth. So different questions can be worth more or less points to kind of weight the questions. I'm going to make this worth 2. General feedback, you can see by clicking on this, is just feedback that the student will get based on how you want to do that. One or multiple answers, since it's multiple choice, you might have 2 answers that are correct. And if that's the case, then you would change it to multiple answers are allowed. The shuffle choices, you have your question here. Shuffle the choices, I mean. I want to use A, B, C, and D. And so now here's the various answers. I'm going to put one possible answer is 1. The grade for this, if I had multiple answers, maybe they're each worth 50% because there's 2 of them that are correct, or whatever. You can choose whatever percentage you want. Since I only have 1, it's either going to be worth 100% because it's right, or none because that one's wrong. Let's do this one. Oops, feedback, I'm sorry. Feedback is where you can give them feedback based on their answer. If they choose this, you can say, ooh, wrong answer, try again, or something like that. So you can add feedback to each of their answers. Choice 2 is that, and that also is wrong, so that's not worth any points. Choice 3 is wrong. Choice 4 is the correct answer, so I'm going to make that worth 100 points, or 100%, I'm sorry. So if they choose this one, then they get it. If they choose any of the others, they don't get any points. They give you a few more options. You can even add more if you'd like to. You can decide if they get multiple tries on an answer, or if you just want the one shot and done. And then the other thing I'm going to do is way back here at the top. Remember I said about the categories. This is just the main category for the whole thing, for the whole course. I want to put this under a default category for Quiz 1. Since I have Quiz 1 in here, they added that category. That way all my Quiz 1 questions are just in that category. It's a little bit easier to choose from. Then I'm going to go down to the bottom and save changes. So I could type in all of my questions. See, that's where the name is, so that way I kind of remember what the question is, because this might be too long for me to see it all. So I have my questions in here. Now I'm going to go back to the quiz, and let's say I put in 10 or 15 of these, all under this category. I'm going to go back to Edit Quiz. And here, in Quiz 1, I'm going to add from the question bank. I'm going to choose the category that it's in. I'm going to pick all of the questions. If there were 14 of them in here, I'd have to click each of them, or click this, which would select all of them. But you can have a bank of 35 questions, and for this time around, this semester, you only want to use 10 of them, so you choose those ones. So you pick whichever ones you want, and you add the selected questions to the quiz. Now, in here, under Edit Quiz, it shows this question. If I want to see it, I can preview the question over here, and it shows me what that question will look like for the student. So then I have a feeling of how it is, or if I forgot what the question was, I can look through it again. Then if I make that go away, you'll be able to see the test in here, and all of your questions will be listed. And again, if you want to change something about it, then you go back to the Edit Settings section to change the timing and those kinds of things. So that's the basics of setting up a quiz. When it's time to administer it, they go in and take it. It automatically grades. You saw some of the other options. I showed you a multiple choice, but if you wanted to set up true, false, if you wanted to set up fill in the blank, all of those options are there for you to set up your questions. If you need help with this is a little bit more difficult. This isn't something you do all that often. Make sure you fill out a help desk ticket. And remember, by using Moodle, once your quiz is set up this semester, when you import your material next semester, it's already done. So the benefit of going through this process is you don't have to do it over and over. Have a good day.